What's up, guys? Balmont here. So, Forbidden West came out a few days ago, and I must say, man, this game is amazing. And before doing a guns blazing review like I always do with amazing titles like this time I decided to pull a spoiler-free review first. So much that instead of using all of the footage I have, which is over 50 gigabytes of clips, god damn it, that's a lot, I decided to use footage from the extended gameplay video we got to see months ago as I discuss all of the topics I've prepared for you while keeping it spoiler-free. I'll be posting a full-scale review in a few days, so make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss it. And yes, I'll be bringing you Elden Ring 2, of course. I am a From Software fan. And listen, if you want to help me make more videos like this, then consider checking out my Patreon page. The more supporters I have, the more time I'll be able to invest in bringing quality content for you. The links are in the description. You can also become a member right here on YouTube as well. So alright, let's get going. We have a lot to talk about. Now, the way I see it, there are a few key elements that make up a solid direct sequel. Good tie-ins, keeping functional elements its predecessor had and expanding upon them, all while scrapping or improving elements that weren't exactly well implemented. And boy, oh boy, did Horizon Forbidden West deliver. But let's start with the star of the show, Aloy. From the outset, we see a big change in Aloy's personality. You see, in the first game, she was this pure-hearted but far from naive young woman. Now, it's clear that she's matured, both from her body language and tone, the way she looks at things, how she reacts to people and situations, the remarks she makes about things. Now, she's experienced, decisive. You even get bits of sarcasm and cynicism here and there. But, you know, don't get me wrong, she's no Max Payne. God, no. Good lord, imagine Aloy saying things like, "The situation was getting pretty grim as my body hit the ground. My life had been one linear sequence of mistakes." You know what? Actually, I'd pay good money to see that. What we see here is a very organic and coherent evolution of a character, making it all the more interesting to see her interactions with other people. And on that topic, we also noticed from the outset that the developers made a point to give the game a grander, cinematic feel to it. In the original game, things weren't as bad and as static as they were, say, in Fallout 4, for example. You know, ever since Fallout 3, I've always got the impression that we were seeing big totems of meat somehow conversing with one another. And while the first Horizon had really nice facial animations and interesting body movement during cutscenes, they still weren't quite there yet. They were pretty, sure, but still felt somewhat standard. What we got in Forbidden West, however, are much more fluid and prettier animations and interactions, be it with other characters or elements from the world itself. It's really easy to get immersed into what's happening on screen. And again, with the increase in character detail and facial expressions and body language, I found myself thinking, whoa man, this is high-level design right there on several occasions. It's beautiful. Which brings us back to Aloy. You see, Ashley Birch is that kind of voice actress who has nothing left to prove to anyone. She's a great voice actress. She's amazing at delivering both intense and even more subtle inflections and intonations in all of her dialogues, allowing us to get a bigger insight into Aloy's character from those very subtle details as well. Seriously, if you pay attention, you'll understand exactly who Aloy's become within the game's very first hours. It's all there. The other voice actors also did a very high-level job delivering their lines with consistency and, above all, understanding of what any particular scene's supposed to feel like, its context. No dialogue is ever scattered on the wind. But we're not done yet with the human interaction in this game. You see, Horizon Forbidden West is my favorite type of sequel. Although it does have a decent preface expertly voice acted by the devilishly talented Lance Reddick to both refresh veterans' memories and bring newcomers up to speed to a certain degree, it doesn't spend an excessive amount of time recapping things. As soon as you actually begin playing, even though many past events will be referenced, things move forward. If you haven't played the first game, you're gonna feel lost on many occasions as to what is going on. Forbidden West truly feels like a next episode type of game, and not a train wreck between excessive recapping and lackluster progression. We get to see this very early on, actually. You know, Aloy is searching for something very specific, and she's accompanied by one of her allies from the previous game. And the way they interact with each other, again, both in body language and voice acting, immediately shows us that, yes, those people have a history. They know each other. Both of them know what's going on. They are in sync. Now, let's talk about the machines. What would Horizon be without them? You see, the first game had a wide array of machines for you to fight, and they all behaved very differently from one another. And not only that, but when they were not in combat mode, they even behaved the same way their animal counterparts would during non-hostile situations. Now, in Forbidden West, things have been elevated to a much grander level of attention. Now, the machine's movements look and feel even more natural. If in the first game you felt like you were fighting machines that behave like animals, in here, I felt like I was fighting actual living beasts, but made of steel. And this makes the game feel much more alive, rich, and immersive. Note to self, stop hitting my damn microphone. You know, part of me is Italian, so I speak using my hands. I'm sorry, I've been hard-coded this way. And speaking of richness, let's talk about the graphics. Yes, the eye candy. As you can see from this footage, I decided to use in this spoiler-free review. Forbidden West is very superior to its predecessor. The buildings, structures, and open areas you get to explore are richer, the vegetation is denser, the details rank in higher numbers. And all of that while never feeling out of place or even disjointed from Horizon's world itself. You have both a performance and an image quality mode, but to be honest, I don't see that much of a difference to warrant eating 30 frames from a gameplay experience. Performance mode is gorgeous enough as it is. Now, I couldn't end this review without talking about the combat. After all, Aloy is a huntress. And I'm gonna begin this part by talking about the biggest improvement in terms of combat that Forbidden West brings over its predecessor, the melee combat. You see, in the first game, melee combat was very stiff. It was a secondary means of combat, both in gameplay design and modeling execution. Forbidden West revamps this part by making Aloy strikes more nimble, all while still looking powerful and cool. And the way her hair moves while striking makes me feel like I'm a freaking Predator. You know, before the Predator franchise was turned into an involuntary comedy series of films, that is. You know, I like feeling powerful in games, not stupid. That's what family gatherings are for. In a true good sequel fashion, Forbidden West takes all that worked in the combat section of its predecessor and expands upon it, while never distancing itself so much from its inception that it alienates players and even breaks character from Aloy herself. For example, now Aloy has the bullet time function from the outset. It's no longer an upgrade, and she'll also gain quite a few unique tools like the glider device seen in this footage, a hook that would make Scorpion very proud, and a few others, which I won't spoil for you, of course. And the crafting and scavenging elements are all there too, but with a more streamlined and elegant HUD. The same goes for your focus. Now you both activate it and emit a quick pulse to get a read on your surroundings. And of course, there's always the combat against humans. It's also been improved. If in the first game they felt more like extras to the machines, in here the combat against them is much more robust while still being very fluid and functional, as it should be. So in the end, Forbidden West does exactly what a good sequel should do. Maintain and improve its core elements, follow through with established story elements and expand upon them, all while polishing what was somewhat lacking in the previous entry. It hits the ground running, and I'm damn glad it does. If you like this video, then hit that like button and subscribe. There's more Horizon content on the way, both from Forbidden West and its predecessor. Elden Ring is on its way too, along with a special video or two, you know, if I have the time and resources, regarding Soulsborne games. Man, talk about being busy in a good way. Now get out there and lay it on them. Balmont out.